What's up everyone, I'm CallumOnToast, and in today's video I'm going to be showcasing some battles in the Open Great League running an ABB style team with Shadow Abomasnow in the lead, Runerigus with Rock Tomb as the save swap, and Shadow Golurk as the closer. Now the reason I'm running Rock Tomb is because Noctowl is one of the most common Pokemon in the current meta, so a Runerigus save swap will almost always bait it out, as typically Noctowl completely walls it, double resisting all charge moves. With Rock Tomb however, you have a lot more play and can often decide whether you want to win switch advantage or get a shield advantage. Often I'll opt for the shield advantage because Shadow Golurk can be a devastating core breaker to so many teams with a shield advantage and Noctowl out of the way. With that being said, let's get into the question of the day. What is your favourite ghost type Pokemon currently available in Pokemon Go? Let me know in the comment section down below, and with that being said, let's get into the battles now. Alright, so going into the first battle, we lead into a Medicham, not the best lead. I'm going to save swap into my Runerigus, and often, because opponents know that Noctowl has such a dominant matchup, they will overfarm with their lead Pokemon before swapping out, giving me a massive energy advantage going into this matchup. We land the Rock Tomb, we debuff their attack, the opponent baits with a Sky attack, we can easily tank that, get to another Rock Tomb in time before they even make it to the second charge move, and we do grab the shield advantage. This is absolutely massive. We also double debuff their attack, so even though they did overfarm here and they will get the farm down, I'm going to be able to tank a Sky attack quite comfortably on my Shadow Abomasnow, even though it is super effective damage. Now I could have possibly gone for the Shadow Ball there, but I knew it wasn't going to do too much damage. We now go for a Weather Ball. This will be enough damage to take out the Noctowl, and now we're going to swap into the Shadow Golurk and watch it absolutely sweep teams. Going to shield up the Ice Punch, of course, that is super effective damage. They come in with a Lantern and we are double resisting the Sparks here. It's doing absolutely nothing. Of course, Surf would do huge super effective damage, but I'm gonna overfarm, going for 3 Mud Slaps. They're now at a Surf, so we grab the shield and now we can go for a second Shadow Punch, and this will be enough damage to take out the Lantern. The Medicham comes back in. Unfortunately, they do make it to another Ice Punch in time, but that is okay. Ice Punch takes us out. We still have enough health to get to a last second Weather Ball on the Shadow Abomasnow, and Weather Ball takes out the Medicham and we take that game. So GG's to that opponent there. Into the next battle, another Medicham in the lead. Gonna swap into Runerigus. This time the opponent is a lot faster to swap out, but they still don't throw straight away, allowing me to get to the Rock Tomb before they can throw their charge move. And we've already got the Noctowl into the yellow health before they've even thrown a charge move. Once again, the opponent goes for a bait, and once again, they're just going for Sky attack. I know I can live this. I will make it to another Rock Tomb. Is the opponent gonna give me switch advantage? No, they give me the shield advantage, and once again they do get the farm down, but we will be able to come in with the Shadow Abomasnow, let the charge move go through, take them out with a Weather Ball, and we should be priming to sweep with our Shadow Golurk yet again. We go for the Weather Ball, we take out the Noctowl, they come in with the Medicham, a little bit of lag, but that's absolutely fine, and here we are going to respect the damage from the Ice Punch, and it is the Ice Punch. So we're now going to go straight for a Shadow Punch. The opponent isn't swapping out of this matchup. The opponent does actually shield here, so I'm expecting something like a Bastiodon in the back, as they are very weak and they want to preserve the Medicham's health. We now make it to another Shadow Punch before they get to another charge move. We take them out. It's actually a Shadow Beedrill. The Switch Clock barely gets up in time. We're able to catch an X-Scissor onto our Shadow Abomasnow, and now we can come in with the Golurk. I was actually running Earth Power in this battle, so I felt like I might as well full send the nuke here. Earth Power takes out the Shadow Beedrill, and we take that game. And just by the way, these battles are slightly out of order, so sometimes I will have Earth Power as I didn't have TMs at the start, but eventually I did manage to get Dynamic Punch. But here we swap into Runerigus, this time baiting out a Sableye, so not the Noctowl. We go for the Rock Tomb. The opponent actually lets it go through, expecting probably a Sand Tomb, but we debuff their attack. Unfortunately, we lose the CMP tie here. That is really not ideal, and I expect at this point the opponent probably will just let the Sableye go through, or go down down, sorry, so I'm going to undercharge, but they actually shield it, and I'm going to be able to Shadow Claw, farm them down, come out with a Shadow Ball loaded, and I will throw this straight away into whatever comes in. Actually, no, it wasn't loaded, but they come in with Galarian Stunfisk, so I'm still able to get off the Shadow Ball before they take me out, and I know that we need to keep our Abomasnow away from the Toxicroak in the lead, so I'm going to come in here and I'm going to overfarm. The opponent goes for a catch. I'm going to swap into my Shadow Golurk. I will be able to tank a Mud Bomb and then fully Mud Slap, farm down this Toxicroak, come out with a Shadow Punch loaded. Just going to throw it straight away. Not sure how much energy the Stunfisk does have, but now with a couple of Mud Slaps, they are easily in range for an Energy Ball to take them out, and I do have the Energy Ball banked on my Shadow Abomasnow, so we will be able to take out the Stunfisk and take that game. So GG's to that opponent there. Into the next battle, we see Swampert in the lead, so actually a pretty good lead for us, but the opponent now safe swaps into a Sableye. Now, of course, we've got a double ghost back line, so we can't really swap out here, but we've also need to preserve the Abomasnow for that Swampert, so a bit of a tricky situation. I went for the Weather Ball there, meaning that I would be able to get it off before they could throw a Charge Move, and now I'm going to swap into Runerigus. This Sableye is low enough that even when they land the Foul Play, I should still be able to Shadow Claw, farm them down, and I have a slight energy advantage up against the Swampert, so I will be able to make it to a Shadow Ball. The opponent does decide to let it go through, and they don't go for a farm down either. That means they go for the Hydro Cannon straight away. I'm now going to predict that they're going to instantly swap out. So I should come in with the Golurk, they come in with a Drapion, and these Mud Slaps are absolutely chunking. They also throw on alignment, meaning I get a full Mud Slap through. They go for the Crunch, we get the full farm down, and that is going to be game over for my opponent, and we're able to take that game. So GG's to that opponent there. Into the next battle, and Ice-type leads are definitely the worst thing we could see here, because Ice-types typically will be able to beat Shadow Abomasnow as we only take neutral damage, and then of course Ice is going to easily take on both the Runerigus and the Shadow Golurk. So we go for the Energy Ball, the opponent ends up shielding it up, and that is really not ideal. At this point I'm going to have to also shield, make sure I can get off the Energy Ball in this matchup, and then I'll probably have to swap out into my Runerigus. We go for the Energy Ball, the opponent lets it go through, and actually this is fine. I'm going to let the Abomasnow go down. We've gotten rid of the Ninetales, but the opponent's going to come in with a Swampert, and I already know this is going to be a Galarian Stunfisk in the back, so this is a bit of a tricky matchup. We go for the Shadow Ball, grabbing a shield, and at this point I know I can live a Hydro Cannon. I'm hoping that I will be able to live enough where they won't be able to Mudshot farm me down, but unfortunately they would have been able to, so I have to swap out of there, but I'm going to be too slow to get to a Charge Move, and unfortunately this Swampert will be able to land a Hydro Cannon onto the Shadow Golurk, taking me out, and actually it wasn't a Stunfisk, it was a Registeel, but either way they're able to lock on, farm me down, and take that game. Into the next game, we see another Alolan Ninetales in the lead, and once again, this is not great. We're going to let the first Weather Ball go through. We do live this quite comfortably. The opponent doesn't farm up to a Dazzling Gleam, so we do let the first move go through. The opponent this time lets the Energy Ball go through, so this is a much better position to be in. We're going to let the Weather Ball go through. It takes us out, but I come in with the Shadow Golurk, get the farm down, and I'm expecting a Swampert to come in straight away once again. So now I'm going to go for a Shadow Punch just before they get to a Hydro Cannon, forcing a shield very early on in this matchup, and the opponent is going to throw at a very awkward timing, allowing me to get a Mud Slap through, and now they are going to be able to get to another Hydro Cannon, but they're now in range where I should be able to fully Mud Slap, farm them down, and I'm able to get the farm down. They come in with the Galarian Stunfisk. I can now go straight for a Dynamic Punch. This grabs the final shield, and now I will swap to catch the Rock Slide onto my Runerigus. We do have a Shadow Punch banked, by the way, so a Shadow Ball and a Shadow Punch should take them out. The opponent knows that, so they do concede the match. Now into the next battle, we see a Charizard in the lead. Not ideal, but if we do land a Rock Tomb, that would easily one-shot them. The opponent's actually running an ABA, Wing Attack team here with a Noctowl as well, so we do bait it out. We get off the Rock Tomb, and once again, opponent going for a Sky Attack bait. I guess with the Rock Tomb debuff, Shadow Ball probably wouldn't quite take us out, so maybe it does make sense, but we're actually nearly able to farm them down here. They go for another Sky Attack, but because of the Wing Attack damage from that Charizard, I wasn't able to flip switch there. but I'm going to go and swap and catch the charge move onto my Shadow Golurk. It's just going to be a Rock Slide. That's amazing for me. The opponent comes in with the Charizard. I'm just going to let this go through. They full send the Blast Burn. It does take me out. We go for a Weather Ball, but we CMP tie. I know this is just going to be a Dragon Claw, but if I let this go through, they can just shield here and probably Wing Attack farm me down. So that's really unfortunate. I should have thrown earlier and just guarantee that either I grab the shield or I get that damage off straight away, because now Rock Slide will easily be taking me out from this range and I have wasted that shield here. So that is really unfortunate. I'm not going to be able to get off 2 energy balls here, so I will now bait with a Weather Ball, but even then I don't think I'm going to make it to 1 final energy ball to take out the Stunfisk, and no, we don't quite get there in time. Rock Slide takes out the Abomasnow and we do lose that game. So GG's to that opponent there. Into the next game, we see a Galarian Stunfisk in the lead, so I'm going to count to 5, try to swap and catch to the Rock Slide, and we are successful. So Rock Slide is going to be resisted, so we tank that very easily. They come in with a Spark Lantern. This is fine as well. Of course, Surf will be super effective, and 2 Surfs will take us out, but not before we get to a Shadow Ball to deal some big damage in this matchup. And of course, if they're not coming in with a Noctowl, then I don't expect them to be running a Noctowl in the back, so I still feel pretty comfortable that the Shadow Golurk can sweep this game. We're going to come in with the Abomasnow, over farming massively, the opponent farming all the way up to a Thunderbolt, so they do allow me to get to nearly 100 energy before throwing a Weather Ball, and they shield to get off this energy here. They go for the Thunderbolt. It doesn't do too much damage as it is resisted. We overfarm, going for a Weather Ball once again, and even resisted, that does take them out. They now come in with a Shadow Charizard, so this is a little bit tricky here. But I'm going to shield in this matchup. They go for the Dragon Claw, and now I'm going to go for my Shadow Punch. This will do massive damage to the Charizard. We grab a shield from the opponent, the final shield, and at this point I'm happy to let the Golurk go down. I know they didn't overfarm massively, so I do overfarm just a little bit. The opponent makes a great catch onto Galarian Stunfisk, but I know they haven't banked a charge move, so now all I need to do is farm to an Energy Ball and a Weather Ball. Energy Ball will be enough damage to take out the Galarian Stunfisk, and then a Weather Ball should be enough damage to take out that Charizard. So we take out the Stunfisk, we have the Weather Ball banked, and is this enough damage to take them out? Yes it is, and we take that game. So GG's to that opponent there. Into the next battle, we see another Medicham in the lead, so gonna swap into the Runerigus, and this time we bait out a Licky Tongue. So obviously not as great as the Noctowl, as Rock Tomb is not going to be super effective damage, and as well these licks are really chunking us. But what we often see with a Medicham lead and a Licky Tongue in the back is a Bastiodon as the 3rd Pokemon, and if that is the case, then Shadow Golurk is going to have a field day in the back here, so I'm not feeling too bad about this matchup whatsoever. We also do double debuff this Licky Tongue, so I'm going to be able to get a lot of energy onto my Shadow Abomasnow here. So of course we will let this move go through. Body Slam, not going to do too much damage after the double debuff. We should be able to over farm massively. I might even go for a full farm down here. Let's see. No, I'm going to farm to nearly 100 energy, going straight for the Weather Ball, and we will have an Energy Ball loaded. Well, not quite, but now we do get to the Energy Ball, throw it into the Medicham, doing big damage up against the Medicham, and the opponent is staying in this matchup, so we should be able to shield here. Fully Mud Slap, farm them down, and it's not a Bastiodon in the back, it's actually a Galarian Stunfisk, but either way this is perfectly fine. We can safely shield in this matchup. They full send the Earthquake, so now they won't make it to another Earthquake in time, just a Rock Slide, which is perfect. Rock Slide is resisted, we live it, and now we can go for the Mud Slap, farm down up against the Medicham. The opponent still had 2 shields there, but they just weren't able to use them. Into the next battle, we see a Chestnut in the lead. The opponent swaps into Registeel. We have 2 really hard counters to Registeel, so I actually bank a ton of energy onto my Shadow Abomasnow before eventually swapping out, and we can still go for a full Mud Slap farm down. You can see 2 Zap Cannons do take us very low, which is perfect because now this Chestnut will only get maybe 1 or 2 Vine Whips worth of damage here. We go for the Shadow Punch. Unfortunately, we don't get off a second one there. I should have definitely gone for a Dynamic Punch, but it won't really matter as a Weather Ball will still be enough damage to take out the Chestnut. We go for the Weather Ball here, grabbing a shield from the opponent, and now I'm going to overfarm, expecting they might try and make a catch. They don't go for the catch straight away, but now they swap into Stunfisk. We can go for an Energy Ball, and this will do big damage to the Stunfisk, and now we can swap into the Runerigus, and we can safely let any move go through here. Even if they did go for the Earthquake, which they don't, it wouldn't even put us into range where they can go for a Rock Slide to take us out. The opponent realizes that, and they do concede the match. Into the next battle here, we see a very spicy Shadow Piloswine in the lead. We go for the Weather Ball straight away, and the opponent lets it go through, so now I know I can just shield up the Avalanche and then just fully Powder Snow farm them down and guarantee I win this matchup. They're going to come in with a Medicham, and now we bait out the Noctowl once again, so this is going great. We go for the Rock Tomb. It looks like it's a CMP tie up against this opponent. We do debuff their attack, and let's see, does this opponent actually go for the Shadow Ball? They do, but that will mean they have to go for another charge move, as we did debuff their attack, and now they go for the move just before we make it to a second Rock Tomb, and that's great. They don't have massive residual energy here. So we're going to come in with the Abomasnow, over-farming massively, going for the Weather Ball, and we do actually have an Energy Ball loaded this time around. So we're going to go for it straight away into the Medicham. I really hope they let this go through, but they don't. They do shield it up. We come in with the Shadow Golurk, and now we will have to tank at least one Ice Punch here. So I'm going to let the first move go through, just in case they were running Power Up Punch and they went for a bait. But unfortunately, they're now going to be able to farm us down just as we're reaching a second Shadow Punch here. So we don't get it off, and we're not able to get the Powder Snow farm down, and unfortunately we do lose that game. But great game by that opponent there. Into the next battle, another Medicham in the lead. Gonna swap into the Runerigus. The opponent stays in for ages before finally swapping into their Noctowl here. We can go for the Rock Tomb. It does debuff their attack, and now we should be in a pretty good position here. The opponent does go for the Shadow Ball, but we will be able to make it to a second Rock Tomb in time before they get to another charge move. They let it go through, and at this point, even though Shadow Claw is double resisted, I'm going to be able to flip switch advantage here if I use the shield, and I will come out with a Shadow Ball loaded. So the opponent here is going to come back in with the Medicham. We will easily grab a shield here with this Shadow Ball, and we do get that shield back, so that's great. Going to come in with my Shadow Golurk, and the opponent is going to make it to an Ice Punch. I can't really afford to shield this up, so I do let it go through. I'm expecting a Lantern in the back, so I'm going to make sure that I do preserve the health a little bit here, but I don't really need too much as I have Abomasnow in the back. So we go for the Shadow Punch. The opponent lets it go through. It's actually a Dunsparce in the back, and that is not great because they do have super effective rock damage with the rollouts and the rock slide, but they did throw on alignment there, and that will mean I will make it to 2 Weather Balls on a CMP tie with the second rock slide, and this is absolutely massive. This will force the final shield, but no, they actually just let it go through, and that is even better for me because I can come in with my Shadow Golurk. We resist the rollouts, and I'm able to Mud Slap, farm them down, and take that game. So GG's to that opponent there. I think I still might have made it to a Dynamic Punch anyways, so I think I had that game won whether they shielded or not. But into the next battle, we see a Skarmory in the lead. This is a Pokemon you don't really see too often now, but it's not the best lead for us. Gonna swap into my Runerigus. We do bait out a Shadow Swampert. Gonna go straight for the Shadow Ball, and the opponent lets the Shadow Ball go through, and at this point, I think I just have to shield in this matchup. I will be down 2 shields, but I'm gonna come out with a ton of energy loaded, and the opponent did full send a Brave Bird before swapping out. So they now come in with a Vigoroth. That's not so ideal for us here. Gonna go for the Rock Tomb. This will debuff their attack, so if they go for a Bulldoze, it won't do too much damage. So I can let this go through, and what I should have done, honestly, is just swap straight away into my Golurk to get a massive energy advantage, but now I go for a Rock Tomb. I know this isn't gonna do much damage, so it almost feels a bit of a waste knowing they're also gonna swap back into their Skarmory straight away, and they will also be able to fully farm me down. They're gonna have to use both shields here, but I don't think they care here, as they will be able to get a full farm down, and nothing wants to tank a Brave Bird from a Skarmory on my team, so it is not looking good for us. I had to hope that they would blindly throw into my Runerigus coming back in, but they're better than that. They know to get the full farm down, go for a Brave Bird into Shadow Golurk, and that does completely one-shot me, and the opponent does take that game. So well played by that opponent. Into the next battle, we see Bastiodon in the lead, and we're going to swap into Runerigus, baiting out a Azumarill here. So we go straight for a Shadow Ball, knowing they're not going to shield the first charge move, and now I should be able to shield in this matchup, and then I will actually go for a Rock Tomb, expecting that they are very likely to shield the second charge move here. So this Rock Tomb will be able to grab a shield from the opponent, and it does debuff their attack, so we should be able to live an Ice Beam. It's going to be very close as to whether we get to a Shadow Ball in time, and we barely don't get there, and that's really unfortunate, but it's just what it is. Hopefully our Shadow Golurk can sweep whatever they have in the back, as well as that Bastiodon. So we're going to let this move go through. We will overfarm massively in this matchup, and then we will finally go for a Weather Ball into this Azumarill. It's resisted, but they are low enough where it will take them out. And we come in with the Golurk, and they've actually got Medicham in the back, and because we have an energy advantage, and because they throw on alignment, we will be able to flip this matchup here in the one shield scenario, and get two back-to-back Shadow Punches before they can even make it to an Ice Punch to deal big damage to our Shadow Golurk. So we go for the Shadow Punch, it takes out the Medicham, and at this point this should be game over. They will actually make it to a charge move here, which is not ideal. It's actually going to be really close, but they go for the Stone Edge and not the Flamethrower. It is resisted, we barely hang on, get off a Shadow Punch, and now we can get to an Energy Ball in time. Honestly, I think we still would have made it to an Energy Ball and a Weather Ball to take out the Bastiodon anyways, but that did make it a lot easier for me, and I'm able to take that game. Into the next battle, another Ice type in the lead, and this is probably the trickiest Ice type of them all, because a Meteor Beam will absolutely one-shot me. I'm not going to mess around, going straight for an Energy Ball, and the opponent does call it there, so they do correctly shield. I'm going to call the bait, very risky, and it doesn't pay off, as they now buff their attack, and this Shadow Golurk is taking massive damage from these Powder Snows. They go for a Weather Ball, and if I go for a full farm down here, they would make it to another Weather Ball, so I have to go for the Shadow Punch. Shadow Punch takes them out, they've got a Shadow Swampert in the back, and it's game over. There's just no point me playing this out here, so I'm going to let this move go through. Hydro Cannon barely doesn't take me out, they get the farm down, and they will make it to another Hydro Cannon to take out the Shadow Golurk, and unfortunately not calling that Meteor Beam just absolutely ruined the entire game for me, and that is how it goes sometimes, unfortunately. But into the next battle, we see another Ice type in the lead. This time it's a Charm, Alola, Ninetales, so I actually feel a little bit more comfortable up against Charm, because obviously they're not able to spam those Weather Balls quite as quickly. So I'm actually going to swap into my Runerigus here. The opponent will be able to get off their own Weather Ball, and that is super effective, so I do have to use a shield. I'm now going to go for a Shadow Ball just before they make it to another Weather Ball, and the opponent does let it go through, and they come in with a Bastiodon as well, so I'm thinking maybe it is a Medicham in the back, so I'm going to go for the Shadow Ball here. The opponent lets it go through. It doesn't do that much damage, but the opponent doesn't go for a farm down. They go for a Stone Edge there, and now I come in with the Shadow Golurk, and it is the Medicham in the back, and once again with an energy advantage, and once again with the opponent throwing on alignment, I will be able to flip this matchup. They do actually go for a Power Up Punch bait, which is a little unfortunate, but I had such a massive energy advantage that I'm able to get to the Shadow Punch in time. This barely doesn't actually, no, it does actually take them out, and the opponent does just concede the match there. So GG's to that opponent, and into the final battle of this video, we see a Como-O in the lead. Not a very common lead to see in the Open Great League. Gonna go for a Weather Ball here just before they make it to a close combat, and then I will actually swap out after one more Powder Snow. I'm able to catch a move. It's probably not going to be the close combat. There's no reason for them to go all the way to the close combat when a Dragon Claw would still do massive damage to the Shadow Abomasnow, and they do make it to another Dragon Claw. But I will be able to go for the Shadow Ball, and this will be enough damage to take out the Como-O, but the opponent actually uses both of their shields on this Pokemon in the lead. I'm going to come in with my Shadow Golurk, go for a farm down. It was quite clear that they didn't have a good response to my Runerigus, so hopefully they don't have a response to this Shadow Golurk. They come in with Medicham, so it is pretty clear that they don't, and once again the opponent throwing on alignment. I think they're trying to throw on a CMP tie, but I'm just not going to throw at that moment in time, so I go for the Shadow Punch here. Shadow Punch barely doesn't take them out, but I get the farm down, and they've got a Lantern in the back, so I'm going to go for the Dynamic Punch. This will do big damage, and then I can swap into my Shadow Abomasnow, get to a Weather Ball. Even though it's resisted, they are easily in range for a Weather Ball to take out the Lantern, and I take that game. So that's going to be it for today's video. If you did enjoy it, make sure you leave a like, leave a comment and letting me know. And as well, don't forget to respond to the question of the day if you haven't done so already. And as for my response, I'm going to go with Shadow Banette. It's a very glassy Pokemon. It only has access to nuke charge moves currently, but if the opponent doesn't know that, they will absolutely get nuked by the Shadow Banette, and that is why I really enjoy using it. With that being said, if you want to see more content like this in the future, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on post notifications. That way you'll be notified whenever I upload a new video. And thank you guys all so much for watching today's video, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.